Hi, I'm Mark Sipp at Crocker Farm Auction, and I'm here to discuss a remarkable work of ceramic art that we'll be selling in our November 3rd auction. This snake jug was made by the famous Kirkpatrick brothers, Wallace and Cornwall, in Anna, Illinois, in the year 1877. You can see the painstaking detail of this object that really makes it transcend what people would call utilitarian pottery or folk art even, into what many would term fine art. The craftsmanship of this piece, it just excels far beyond anything any 19th century stoneware potters were doing. To say that Wallace and Cornwall were potters that worked to make ware for everyday use is true, but to say that they were also potters that made things as art with political commentaries that weren't really intended to be used as much as displayed is also true. So they sort of toe the line between your traditional American utilitarian potter and what we would consider today to be an art potter, a true artist. You can see that this piece has these wonderful hand-modeled and applied snakes all over the surface. I mean, it's just teeming, it's just writhing with snakes, and that's largely what a lot of their work was about. Whether they were making a commentary on alcohol usage or commentary on the corruption of certain political figures, they always wanted to elicit a response from the viewer. So you have pig bottles that have a hole in the rear and anatomically correct undersides. You have their shoe fly jugs that have a woman without underwear when you tip it over and drink from it. And then you have these pieces with snakes, and snakes that aren't just run-of-the-mill hand-modeled snakes. The snakes actually look real. They actually have this wonderful tactile quality to their scaling that move like a real snake and have heads like a real snake and seem to be actually moving and alive as you view the piece. So these guys were very talented. I mean, it's really remarkable. They had no academic training, although this is something that you could see an academic artist having made. It includes its wonderful stopper, and these are very hard to find on the large size snake jugs such as this. A lot of these things were broken over the years. This is the original stopper. And you can see that it has the same craftsmanship, the same quality craftsmanship as the snakes on the jug itself, with the incised scaling and this wonderful brown slip decoration. And that brown was most likely Albany slip. Some people refer to the brown decoration on some of these jugs as manganese, and in some cases it may be manganese dioxide slip. That normally assumes a purplish, brownish color. This assumes a brown color with a little bit of mustard tinting to it, which suggests Albany slip. So these snakes are all heavily decorated with Albany slip splotches, and then the entire surface is of course coated in a classic American salt glaze. You can see right here at the shoulder, it's incised 8 to 7. Now there are 3 of these jugs known, these 8 to 7 snake jugs. While a number of the Kirkpatrick snake decorated vessels reference the evils of alcohol with their applied snakes, this jug and the 2 others like it reference corruption in the American political system. Now we know that from this cryptic incised inscription 8 to 7 at the shoulder. Now these days 8 to 7 doesn't mean a whole lot, but around the time of the Kirkpatricks during the election of 1876, that meant a whole heck of a lot. In the election of 1876, Republican candidate Rutherford B. Hayes had 165 electoral college votes. Samuel Tilden, the Democratic candidate, had 184. There were 20 electoral college votes up in the air. Each candidate was saying they had won. In order to resolve this matter, the situation was put to a vote. There were 15 members in this voting body. 5 members were from the Supreme Court, 5 were from the Senate, and 5 were from the House of Representatives. Now, Tilton had already been ahead in the popular vote by 250,000 votes, so he clearly won the popular vote. However, in this voting body, which leaned Republican, the decision was made to give Rutherford B. Hayes the 20 electoral college votes needed to seal a 185 to 184 victory. And so that was the closest electoral college margin in any presidential election that we've ever had, and it caused quite a public stir. So it was inspiring enough to the Kirkpatrick brothers, ever aware of local and national American politics, to actually make 3 jugs in honor of that moment. And the shadiness of the decision, this compromise that was made that gave Hayes the election, is embodied in these twisted, constricting snakes, which Moore describes in his book, saying that the election and these politicians are nothing more than a pit of pit vipers. This is a very exciting piece. To have one of these come up for public auction, to be available to the masses, available to the highest bidder, is unusual. The rarity of this object cannot be overstated. There are only 3 Anna 8 to 7 snake jugs known. The other 2 may never see a public auction again. One was sold in 2011 to a major folk art collector, and another one has been in the collection of the Illinois State Museum for years. So this is the only one left for public consumption. We're very excited to offer it in this sale, and this shot should give you a good idea of the remarkable detail of this piece. You can see just how incredible the scaling is, how lifelike the modeling is. And you really just don't see anything quite like this in 19th century American stoneware. One can only guess how long it would take to make an object like this. We hope you've enjoyed this video as much as we have enjoyed handling this remarkable object.